All right, guys, it is 12 o'clock and we are going ahead and get started while we have folks coming in. I am once again in different territory, but we're still going to go ahead and keep it going. I am in Michigan and it's a snow what are they calling this? A snowstorm essentially. It's a snowstorm essentially, and so I am it's very interesting what I'm experiencing. Behind me is actually snowing again. I wish I had a standalone camera that I could show you guys. So I could show you guys the snow, but maybe once we get towards the end of our conversation today. But with that being said, happy Thursday. Welcome to your weekly huddle. We are going to go ahead and get started. Just give me 1 second because I am I'm so glad, Jackie. I am going to go ahead and I'm using my chat on my phone to see you guys' communication. So just give me 1 second. Let me see something here. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right, if you guys can see my screen, give me a thumbs up in the chat or come off mute and say, heck yeah, something. Make sure that we're good. Again, I am working from my laptop again today, but we are going to make it do what it do. Hey, happy Thursday. Listen, you guys have definitely, when we finish this conversation, I am going to show you guys what Michigan looks like right now. It's beautiful, but I'm from Florida, so I'll be back soon. All right. So welcome to your huddle. For those who I have not had an opportunity to meet before, my name is Raycole Jackson. I am the founder and your key instructor at Experts University. It is my joy. You ready? It's freezing. It is 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees. It is so like 30 degrees. And it's snowing. And I'm going to show you guys as soon as we get through our huddle today, I'm going to show you what it looks like outside my window. As a matter of fact, let me try this. We're going to get I'm going to do this. See if you guys can see this. I'm going to do this. And I am going to, oh, you still can't see it. You can't see it. Can you see it? 30 degrees is freezing. It is a freeze warning. You can see it?
Oh, yes, I can see your background.
Oh, you see the snow?
Yes. Oh. I can see it a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. There's like a glare.
I know there's a glare, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this really quickly because y'all got to see this. Let me see this. Let me see. Because see, if you had to prospect in this, then we'd be having a different conversation. Y'all see those rooftops?
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, ma'am.
That's snow. And the lines that you see on that rooftop, well, look, it's already, a machine just came through and tried to clear that in that parking garage. Look at that. At 4:15 this morning, y'all know I get up at 4:15. At 4:15 this morning, you could see the tops of these. Oh, there it is. You see the machine clearing it out again?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you had the door knocking prospect in this weather. Mm-hmm. How would you make your money? Look at that. They said we're supposed to get at least 7 inches. So yeah, this is where I'm at. This is Michigan. So for those of y'all that's from this area, God love you. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. But yeah, but it's beautiful. And it makes me appreciate Florida. So yeah, That's what's going on. This ain't never been. You cried. So funny. I don't know. I left. I was long story, guys. I mean, y'all know me. I packed before, so I had in my head what I wanted to take, and I had everything like, in my mind. I kind of had it thrown to the side, and when it finally came time to pack, of course, are we letting everybody in? My people, are we looking? We got some people in the waiting room. Long story short, I forgot my boots. I forgot my dressy boots, and I was like, oh, I could just go to the mall. The mall's like 8 minutes away, and I was like, you know what? They about to get what I remembered. That's what they about to get today. I remembered enough. So thank you, Miss Cabon. Thank you so much. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into this conversation today. Personal branding, how to stand out in a crowded market, right? So, Ray Cole, your key instructor, founder of Expert University. It's me today again. All right. Oh, we're so excited. Viva Florida. We're super happy about our newest brand to the family, Model Mortgage Experts. We get you clear to close. We're super excited about adding the mortgage piece to our brand so that we can provide end-to-end service to our realtor partners. You guys also know that part of our brand is Transaction Experts, your transaction coordination company. You go get a deal, go under contract, we'll do the rest. Go under contract and Transaction Experts will do the rest. And of course, Title Experts, we will see you at the closing table. That's how most of you guys found us. For those of you who have not had an opportunity to work with Title Experts before, we welcome you to experience a Title Experts closing. We are an attorney managed firm. We do provide a dedicated closing team. We want you to know who you're talking to, who you should ask for when you call the office, a dedicated transaction coordinator, regular status updates, and of course, rush processing is absolutely available. We are ready to close as soon as you are ready to close. We send new contracts to contracts@titleexperts.com. We send general questions to closings@titleexperts.com, and you are able to call us at 866-5-EXPERTS. Now, today's conversation, personal branding and how to stand out in a crowded market. The last 2 weeks or so, we talked about numbers, right? We talked about your figures. So we talked about how to incorporate your business. And then last week, we talked about your figures. We talked about, okay, what's your income goal? And we talked about how your income goal would create a financial plan and strategy, right? Which is what you would be, it would drive your marketing activity. That would drive all of your activity after that point, right? So if you are, if your ambition, if you need to hit 19 deals a year, your level of activity is going to be a little bit different from the person that's trying to hit 90 deals per year. But at the end of the day, without knowing what our target number is, we don't have a plan, right? And so the figures, and someone had asked last week to show this on the screen, and this is an overview of how you come up with your annual, and then from there you can come up with your monthly transaction goal, right? And so we just did a very conservative transaction amount of $275,000. $275,000 times 3% is $8,250, right? And then with $8,250, hold on 1 second, let me do this right quick. Okay, there you go. $8,250 would be the gross commission, right? And then from $8,250, we said, well, if we were on an 80-20 split with our brokerage, 80% would be $6,600 to the realtor, 20% would be $1,650 to the brokerage. if we were on the 80-20 split. And again, this is very conservative. You may not be on the 80-20 split for absolutely every deal that you do. You may have a cap. You may be on a 90-10. You may be on a 99-1. You may be on just a per transaction fee basis. Whatever the case is, drop that there as your number. And from there, you're going to get your average commission per deal. Now, using this hypothetical, your average commission is $6,600 after you deduct your split with your brokerage. And then going back to what we said, what was your total revenue goal? And that revenue goal was your personal income as well as what does it cost to run your business? That's your annual revenue goal. You took two of those. Your personal revenue, how much do you need to make to live the life that you want to live? And number two, how much does it cost to operate the business, the type of business that you want to operate, right? That includes, do you want an admin, a full-time admin? Do you want a virtual assistant? Do you want someone doing the marketing for you? So on and so forth, right? What does that look like? You put those two figures together and you come up with your total annual revenue goal. Divide into that your number of your average commission per transaction. And that's how you get your annual deals per year. That's 19 here. And then from the yearly, you can divide that into 12. And from there, you come up with your monthly transactions that you need to hit. And here, this was about 1.5. And I always round up, again, because I'm being conservative. So that would take us to about 2 deals per month to hit our revenue goal. That's going to take us over our revenue goal because our revenue goal is 1.5. So if we did 2 per month, that's going to actually put us at essentially 6 more deals than we anticipated, which is definitely going to take us over our revenue goals. But that's easy math, right? And once you do that math, guys, that's math that you can carry with you. That's pocket math, right? That is pocket math. And so you're not having to go back. And as long as everything else is sticking to your plan as far as your expenses, you can be at the gym and say, I'm going to hit my revenue goals because at the beginning of the year, I knew that I needed to do at least 2 transactions per month that were an average sales price of $275. And I've done that. So far, so good, right? So far, so good. But if you are sitting in the gym 5 a.m. and you're like, ooh, wait a minute. Actually, I have not done that yet. I'm at 1 per month. I need to pick it up. And you can do that. That's the beauty of business. You can increase your activity. Now, some markets make it easier for you to hit these goals, and some markets are a little bit more challenging. We're going to stop talking about what was happening last year because it depends upon which side of the fence you were on. Because if you were heavily buyer side, the interest rates made it good for you, but you were still competing to get offers accepted, right? So there's always going to be a market. There's always going to be a market because now, as the market is what we kind of normalizing, if you're primarily seller side, then you're not, telling your seller you can get them $50,000 over appraised value. But whatever the case, you guys are going to be professionals. And professionals know what to do in any market, right? So just wanted to do that quick recap to give you a quick screenshot so that you can do pocket math so that I can carry you through your activity planning. You know what your numbers are. You know how many deals you need to hit per month. Now let's talk about the activity. What activities will get you to these per deals, this number of deals per month? Marketing and sales, right? Marketing and sales is the prerequisite to 2 deals per month. Marketing and sales is the prerequisite to 2 deals per month. So I wanted to preface and set up our conversation today about personal branding in a crowded market. Florida Realtors has grown to become one of the largest trade organizations in the state. We have more than 225,000 members in Florida. That's not nationally, in Florida, and obviously that's not locally. Most of you guys probably know the numbers locally, but we have more than 225,000 realtors in Florida, and we are one of the largest realtor organizations in the country in Florida. Kayla said, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, granted, they're not everyone isn't active, but even if you cut that in half, 125, or 112.50, that's still a lot of realtors. That's still a lot of realtors. That's still a lot of options for a buyer or seller. And so the question is, how will you stand out in that crowded market? How will you stand out in that crowded market? If there's any affiliates or professionals on the board in here, you know that number, what that number is locally, drop it in the chat. If you know how many we have in the board in your county, Palm Beach, Dade, Broward, or your group, drop it in the chat. And you still need to stand out in that crowded market, right? Miami is 50K. So stand out in the market of 50,000 agents. And again, granted, some aren't going to be doing some aren't going to be doing the work. Some just have their license and they're not really, they have it for personal reasons, etc. So, but even if you knock it down to 25,000, because I don't want anyone to be like, oh, forget it, I'm just not. Beaches is 46,000. It's a lot, right? So our conversation over the next few weeks, because remember I told you guys, once we come up with the number, at this point, it's what is the activity to hit our number. So our conversation over the next few weeks is how to stand out in a crowded market. It's going to be a series of conversations on how to stand out in a crowded market, because when you're not hitting your goals, most times it's because you have a prospect problem. You don't have enough at bats, as they call it. You don't have enough leads, right? So episode 1. Discussion is to how to stand out in a crowded market. Episode 1, title, be omnipresent. Be omnipresent. That is the title of today's episode. Be omnipresent. The definition of omnipresent is to be present in all places at all times. And I know you're probably in your mind like, Ricole, please, that's why I'm exhausted now. trying to be and do all things, trying to be all things to all people and do all things for everyone, right? It's like, that's why I'm tired now, like enough already, right? Be present. Omnipresent is be present in all places at all times. But can I tell you, it is possible. It takes a strategy that must be executed, but it's possible to, at least for your target audience. You don't need to be everywhere for everybody. You need to be in all places at all times for your target audience. Anybody ever heard the term best known beats the best product any day? Best known beats the best product any day. Best known beats the best product any day. So on the way here, my Uber driver was like, he was talking about all these places that had amazing burgers. I never heard of them. Guess who I have heard of? And their burgers are not amazing, and they may not be 100% beef patties. McDonald's. Because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're even more places than what? Burger King. Take it a notch up. Not Chick-fil-A, because so who else has burgers? That's crazy. Who else has burgers? Yes, I heard that about Starbucks. You guys are going to, once you listen, when you guys get a hold of this episode, you're going to go bonkers. You're going to go, but you should go bananas with this. Best known beats the best product any day. Wendy's, thank you. Thank you. See, look at that. I couldn't even think of Wendy's because I always see McDonald's. Thank you, Leah. I knew it was someone else. Best known beats the best product any day. I'm sure you guys can think about right now a number of places that have a better product, but they're not wide known. Nobody really knows about them. Best known beats the best product any day. Because people will just say, well, have you heard of a realtor? Well, I always see this one realtor, her sign, call her. I promise you that's how it happens. You get, just because they keep seeing you. Just because they keep seeing you. right? So how can we be omnipresent? The first thing is consistency. Consistency, 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 guys. Consistency will win the day. Consistency at all costs. Consistency at all costs will make you best known. Because you're like, I keep seeing it. Let me just try it. Let me try her. I keep seeing it. Let me just, because you keep seeing me, right? Consistency. You have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then that's when your sales drop, right? That's when your leads drop. But if you remain consistent, that's how we level out. But have you seen, as soon as we talk about, this is why we have transaction coordinators, because as soon as you go under contract, now your focus is on getting this contract to close. Once that's closed, there's nothing else in the pipeline because you stopped marketing. You took your eye off marketing. You didn't remain consistent with your prospecting. And so now here we're back again at zero. This is part of running a business. This is part of what you got to be all things, all people, do all things, make sure all things are running. But this marketing thing, guys, this marketing, this passive kind of just stay in their face. Good news. You can accomplish this easier even. Is not as effective as prospecting, because remember, we talk about prospecting being face-to-face. Prospecting is being active. Prospecting is getting in front of the person. But you can accomplish that. Your marketing will support your prospecting, because again, when you reach out, the person, oh yeah, I saw your picture. I've heard of you, right? We got to be consistent. So consistent with what? Let's get into it. Of course, consistent with your marketing. Consistent with your marketing. Consistent with your marketing. Remember, best known beats the best product any day. Best known beats the best product any day. I'm sure you guys know service providers that are, you know they're not the best, but you see them everywhere, so everybody uses them, right? So let's talk about omnipresent marketing. We're going to hit 5 topics, 5 strategies for omnipresent marketing. And there's even more than this, but this is 5 that you can attack right away. And you can easily be consistent with this, right? So, number 1, mailers. Number 2, email campaign. Number 3, community marketing. 4, posting to social media. Keep saying it, posting to social media. And 5, speaking events. This is how you can be omnipresent. This is how, again, don't forget, guys, you know that there's a whole world out there, but your prospects, for their purposes, their world is you. You want to make their world. Don't be concerned about, the people that are, for example, this is I'll stay in Florida. If you're in South Florida, don't be concerned about the people in North Florida knowing about you. That's not your area. That's not where you're servicing. You want to make sure that your market always sees and hears from you. I want to make sure that my market, who is my ideal client, are they consistently hearing from me, right? So mailers, omnipresent with mailers to your farm area. Your farm area. Don't get overwhelmed and think like, oh my God, I can't afford to mail to, 1,000 people a month or 2,000 people per month. You shouldn't. Because you're going to start with ensuring that the cost of your mailers is a budget that you can maintain and be consistent with it. What does that mean? That means you are going to your farm area that you want to work. Remember, farm area can be geographic, meaning a location. It can be demographic, meaning veterans, first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, second home, foreigners, people that are coming in from, snowbirds, Canada, people that are moving to just this particular area in Palm Beach or Dade County. What is your farm? Maybe an age group, maybe a profession. Maybe you work with teachers, police officers, correction officers, doctors, lawyers. who is your farm area? Remember we said an inch wide, but a mile deep? Omnipresent is an inch wide, but a mile deep with your farm area. Who is your target audience? Again, that's the issue. We try to start servicing too many people. And so our marketing is diluted. We're not omnipresent, right? So with your mailers, you can create a sense of omnipresence. They're always seeing you. Now, the other thing I want to say about mailers is your target audience going to see your mailers? Remember, it's things that they see. So, right, Liz? So one of my clients, their area, their farm area, they literally hold on to her mailers. And when she goes to her appointments, they're like, oh, this one was great. This is a great mailer. We love this one. And when she saw that, she just continued to mail. She just continued to mail because she's like, oh my gosh, this is working. How many times do you go to places and they say, how'd you hear about us? Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to determine which channel is working the best. How'd you hear about us? Oh, my mailer? Put a tick under mailers. Mailers are working, right? If your people don't get mailers, if your people, they never home or those, just don't do mailers. But I'm telling you, it's effective once you get to that, and if it's in front of your people, and it can be inexpensive. It can be inexpensive. Number 2, regular email campaigns. Regular email campaigns to your database. This, guys, should be a no-brainer. This should be a no-brainer. This should be a no-brainer. Who is not using their CRM? Don't raise your hand. I don't want you to raise your hands, but you can raise your hand to yourself. Guys, please, this is so easy. Most of us, the brokerage provides an email, a CRM, and they have templates or campaigns already set up for you. All you need to do is make sure you drop the people in. This one is too easy. This one is too easy. This one is too easy. This one is set it and forget it. This one is set it and forget it. The only work that you have to do is to get your people into your campaign. Your brokerage doesn't provide that. Kayla, get with me. And we're also going to do, we're going to do a training on it, because there's other platforms that you can use, even if your brokerage doesn't provide one. So you have, guys, drop in the chat for those who, there you go, Follow-Up Boss. Okay, there you go. You just enrolled in Follow-Up Boss. Guys, drop in the chat for those of you who use CRMs that are not broker sponsored. Drop it in the chat. Lion Desk is one, right? Follow-Up Boss, Chime. I think Sync is another one. I'm just going off the top of my head, like all the ones that Terica doesn't follow. Right. So the ones that are more inexpensive, but guys, you got to use this. This is too easy. Email is too easy, right? To your database. Community marketing. Anyone has a Keep? Yes, heard of Keep. Yep, with MailChimp. Anyone has a farm area, like a farm, a geographical farm area, a geographical farm area, a geographical farm area. Like you work Wellington, you work Royal Palm, and obviously I'm calling out these areas. Or you work Pembroke Pines, and these areas are huge, so you're definitely going to have to make them a little bit smaller. You work Maybe even just a community. Maybe it's just the Isles, or maybe it's just Olympia, which is huge. Oh, if you just do Olympia, you're fine, right? That's a huge community. Yep, Port St. Lucie, Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens. So here's the deal. Community marketing in your farm area. How many of you drive by schools and you see realtor banners on the fence? The parks. How many of you see realtor banners when you go to the park? And your kids are in soccer or football, flag football. This is how you become omnipresent. This is when you're targeting a farm area, when your niche, your avatar is in a particular demographic, you should be marketing in the community locations where your people are. Churches, restaurants, beauty salons, and barbershops. I've been to restaurants where they have, and they'll have the business card holder. Now, obviously, this is smaller mom and pops. You're not gonna go to Ruth Chris and put your business card on their hostess table. But the community locations where people are, they're interested. And obviously, a quid pro quo. You say, hey, I put my business cards out, and I will also put your information in my email blast. My database has 2,000 people. I think they would be very interested in that, right? Community marketing. It's huge. So this does not cost a lot of money either. So I wanted you guys, I tried to bring this video in, but I want you guys to go look at this video. So she was saying a quote, Veronica Figueroa, she said, my budget was low, but my dreams were big. Go to her Instagram page when we get off and take a look at this video. It's impactful, it's hilarious. And she's like, I didn't have the money, but I was like, I'll do I'll do a balloon arch. I'll bring my nephew and have him what does he say? Have him dress up like Superman. And she said she was so active in these community events that the people thought it was hers. Right? So she jumped on board, and she didn't even bring. Here's the key. This is the key takeaway. She did not even bring the crowd, guys. The event brought the crowd. She leveraged their crowd, participated in the event with their crowd by just being there, assisting, but by being there and assisting, all the people that event brought out got a chance to see her. What's up, Idiani? Go ahead. There you go. She says, speak real. You got to unmute. Let me unmute you. There you go. Unmute.
Hi. I have been Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So I have been in this neighborhood for 18 years, but I became a realtor 5 years ago. And although I am extroverted, quote unquote, I can be shy at times. And I did not get the opportunity to do what you're saying, to volunteer, to do this and that. But this year I started adding an ad in the newsletter. I started even doing, like when they do work for the community, like gardening and everything. I love gardening, so I volunteer for that. Yes. And I volunteer to be the photographer at pretty much all the events. So what they do is they take photos, or I take photos of me with the participants, and I get the exposure without any intention to, take over the market, but just to get little by little the exposure that you're talking about. This December, they're going to have like a winter at the park event, and I am planning to do what you mentioned with the banner. You have to pay money for it to have the exclusivity. But hopefully that will be another way to and I bought like bricks because they have this like Hall of Fame type of thing at the entrance of Imperial Point, and you can buy a brick. So my brick said Ediani Carbon Realtor, and it has my phone number on it.
There you go.
So
There you go.
basically, it has cost me money in various ways, but when I volunteer, that is money because it's my time, and sometimes I wish I would be spending the time with my family instead. But I like gardening and I like taking photos and things. So overall, I guess it hopefully eventually will be what you mentioned, that people will recognize my name. And I have a card magnet that I put in on my vehicle, and it's there at all times. So when people go by our house, we don't have those kind of restrictions, thank God. And it's a very wonderful neighborhood.
So they see your
Little
car.
by little, they see my nice car. You see pictures of it.
There you go.
And I have a sign in front of the house too that doesn't say buying, selling, whatever. It's just there. It's on my side of my house, and my husband tells me for as long as it's there, you're not violating any rules, any codes, anything. So that's what I'm doing so far. And thank you for the opportunity to be part of this group.
No, absolutely. And y'all give a thumbs up, to do a hand clap for Ediani for speaking up and really just giving some put some meat on the bones. Exactly what you're doing is what we're talking about. And so I want you guys to think about, so based on what she said, I want you to think about her activity. I want you to think about her activity in this way. So Ediani mentioned that she goes out and she does the photography with this group. All she has to do is be very intentional. You just have to be intentional about what is your goal in participating in this event. Do I need to get more leads, right? So does she have something on her shirt that says text sold to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Just make it that you like she said, exposure. You'll be surprised. And the last thing I'll say, guys, you'll be surprised that and if you can attest to this, you can drop one in the chat. You'll be surprised that oftentimes the events that cost you no money, but they cost you time, you get more of a return on. I can attest to it. We do sponsorships all the time. But can I tell you, there are events and organizations that we're a part of that we don't pay. It's just our time that we get more feedback from. See, Dr. Carlisa said true. I'm telling you. There's some, and just be careful, guys. Be careful about throwing your money behind sponsorships that you just are not going to follow up on. Make your money work for you. If you're going to sponsor something, you want to see a return on it. Okay. Miss Miami Ambassador International. Okay. Now she's marketing. Now she's marketing. That's how you stand out in a crowded market. She leaves her business cards in the restaurant, and I say I speak Creole. That's important. People want to connect. If that's your niche, they want to connect. So number 3, coming around the bend, posting to social media with effective. That's Stefani, guys. That's Miss Miami Ambassador International, Miss Stefani, like Gwen Stefani. Make sure you don't say Stephanie. Posting to social media with effective strategy. Quote says, content is fire, social media is gasoline. And I know you guys probably like, Ray Cole, oh my God, if I hear about this one more time, I hate it. But you admire others that are doing it. And guess what? What else? You keep seeing others that are doing it. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? The people that are doing it, what? She said, yeah, the people that are, all intents and purposes, you feel like they're what? Omnipresent. You feel like they're at all places at all times, because all you do is keep seeing their content on your timeline. Content is fire. What your message is fire. Great. But social media is the gasoline, because social media is going to get it out and spread it like a wildfire, right? Now, the reason why I say effective strategy, where are your people? Going back to the mailers, are your people on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Twitter? Are they on YouTube? Are they on TikTok? Are they on LinkedIn? Where are they? Because if you don't just post anywhere, where are your people? Wherever your people are, that's where you need to be posting. This is how you're omnipresent. Where are your people? Right? Then, well, the reason why, again, why I said effective strategy, give the platform what it wants to get your content in front of those people. If Instagram is saying they want reels, make your post a reel. You guys have heard that that voiceover that says, Instagram wants me to post a reel a day, so here's my reel, right? Instagram wants me to post a reel a day, so here's my reel. And people have gotten, they've gotten savvy with it, and it's really a still photo, but they put something on it to make it video-like. Or they'll just put a couple, exactly, Caleb says yes, they've just put a couple photos together, and all of a sudden, exactly, it's a reel. You can no longer just put a static post and expect a lot of people to see it. Give the platform what it wants. If it wants reels, do reels. If it wants videos, do videos. If it wants stories, do stories. If it wants sponsor ad, do a sponsor ad. Guys, even just a post, your own post, whatever your post is, put some money behind it. And you guys hear people talking about, oh, the algorithm. Your post will get in front of everybody. Even your people does not see what you post every day. But if you put some money behind it, even your followers are more likely to see your posts. And then, of course, short clips. Last thing with regards to social media, guys, you don't have to be the one to do it all. I say this every time. Get a VA. Get a VA. Get someone to batch this stuff for you. Get someone to batch this stuff for you. And then once you get a good batch of content, guess what? Something that you posted on January 3rd, if you repost it, a virtual assistant. Leah said, what's a VA? A virtual assistant. If you post something January 3rd, and then you post it again July 3rd, guess who's going to remember? You only. You guys heard the strategy about people reposting that, like literally once you can have a content calendar. Nobody knows but you. Teach me like a fifth grader. That's why we come on this huddle. No, we're getting all the secrets of the game. No one knows but you, but that was already posted January 4th, and you're posting it again August 4th. But it's content, and you're omnipresent. Right? Put a content calendar together. Lastly, speaking events before your target audience. Your speaking event before your target audience. And if it isn't in front of them, record it and put it in front of them. Had an opportunity to speak at such and such. Now you guys heard of repurposing your content. Now, if you spoke somewhere, you can take that. And of course, if you were in front of your target, even if you weren't in front of your target audience, if you were in front of your target audience, great. You've recorded it. Now you can take that and send it in an email for the people who were not there. Now you can take that and post it on social media, all different platforms in so many different ways. You can do a story, a reel, a static post, a video. It can go on LinkedIn. It can go on YouTube, right? You can mail it out. Speaking events make you an authority. You can either build your own platform, such as, scheduling a Zoom or a speaking event, or join someone else's platform. But when you speak, you become an authority. You become an authority. And this is how you become omnipresent. Again, if it's in your community, is there HOA board? If they're the community board, be there to speak, to speak regarding your profession or whatever. This is how you become omnipresent. Jessica said, I just hired a social media content. There you go. Right now, one thing social media managers, they do very well. Now, they're still going to put the stuff together and ask you to approve it, but at least the stuff is your content is going out. And it's one less thing for you to do. In conclusion, guys, omnipresence. What we are fighting is obscurity. We are fighting obscurity. Oftentimes, you don't have a conversion problem. You have an obscurity problem, meaning you don't have enough leads. What is obscurity? Obscurity means not clearly seen or easily distinguished. We don't clearly see you. What they said? 54,000. What's our number? 46,000 in Palm Beach, 50,000 in Miami. How many just in your brokerage? What if they were to just look at your brokerage? How do they choose you from your brokerage of 40 agents, your brokerage of 100 agents, your brokerage of 200, your brokerage of 600 agents? Not easily distinguished or clearly seen. Do they see you in the market, right? Obscurity is not prominent or famous, not prominent. Now, when I say famous, again, it's famous to your audience. Anybody you've ever, people see you on social media and they're like, oh my God, I always saw you. I always see you on social media. It's nice to finally meet you. In their eyes, you're famous. Oh, y'all see it? In your eyes, they're famous. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's nothing but Facebook, but all of a sudden you're famous, right? You show up to a listing appointment and it's like they already know you. In your eyes, you're famous. Anybody ever heard the term faded into obscurity? Faded into obscurity. You guys ever heard that term before? I don't know. They faded into obscurity. That means I don't know what happened to them. We saw them once and then never saw them again. You never heard that term before? Faded into obscurity? You guys have heard one hit wonder? Then we never heard of them again, right? So you don't want your prospects to see you, be impressed, and then they never hear from you again because we weren't consistent, right? Don't be a secret agent. I know y'all heard that before. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be, you're good as your last deal. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be a secret agent. Be omnipresent. Stand out in a crowded market, guys. Stand out in a crowded market. Don't get frustrated. Don't say, oh, it's so much I got to do. No leads, no leads, no listings, right? No contacts, no contracts, no closings. No contacts, no contracts, no closings. No contacts, no contracts, no closings. Let's make contact. Let's make contact with some people. No contact, no contracts, no closings. And we need to get to the closing people, right? All right, we did it. In closing, we know in closing. With your strategy to hit your numbers each month, you want to focus on the core problem that your business solves and put out lots of content and enthusiasm. I put enthusiasm in italics and bold. I wanted that to stand out. Get excited. Energy is transferable. Energy is transferable. If you're not excited about your business, if you're not excited about working, if you're not excited about, if you don't feel like they should be excited about working with you, they're gonna reciprocate. Get excited about your business. Get excited about sharing the message of who you are and the service that you provide. Right? So put out lots of content and enthusiasm and ideas about how to solve the problem that your target audience has. Be excited about how to get their property on the market and sold. Be excited about how to get them into their new home, into their second home, into their investment property, into their bigger home, into their next home, right? Put out a lot of content about that. Jessica said, my first broker told me that when I first started at the 100% makes sense. Yeah. Tell everyone what you do. Contacts, contracts, closings. Contacts, contracts, closings. That's your mantra every morning. Make contacts so I can go under contract and get closings. That's my mantra every morning. Who do I need to be in front of? Who's got my money, right? All right, guys. Definitely enjoyed the conversation today. Listen, do me a favor. If you learned anything, any aha moments, Any reminders? And the reason why I say reminders, trust me, guys, I get it. Oftentimes we hear things and we intend to implement, or we're like, you know what, that's a good idea. And we don't do it, but then we have to hear it again. This is why we come in each week and just listen. You guys, I listen to Zooms, I listen to classes all day because information is powerful. Information, you guys saw my stories yesterday. If you saw my stories yesterday, information changes situations. Information changes situations. Information will allow you to turn a problem into a prospect. All right. But anyway, guys, let me know. Go into the community. Let me know. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway. Let me know if you have any other questions on this topic.
I have a quick question.
There you go, Kayla. Go ahead.
Yay. Okay, so this was very informative once again. I did miss the class about how to calculate your numbers and to effectively set goals because I usually set my goals and what I do is I'll have like a specific number for the year and then I dissect it to what I have to do quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. I've been doing okay. I've done better than last year. This year I did like way better. And just listening to you really, I just literally wrote this down that I'm excited about what I'm about to accomplish in my real estate business in 2023, especially with the acquired knowledge that I'm learning from you.
Hello.
So my question for you is, at what point will I know that I need a transaction coordinator? Because I really look forward to working with you and building a long-term relationship. But at what point do I like hire you?
Immediately.
Okay.
And here's why. Number one, you're not hiring a transaction coordinator Tarika said use one on every deal. Don't be hard-headed like Jessica. So they get the TC now. They're in the chat, blowing the chat up, Kayla.
Yes, see.
So let me answer this question for you first. Why do you think you should not get one right away? And I want you to say that to me because here's why, because I want to hear the first year or first time realtor, first time experience with a TC perspective, right? Because I'm going to be high level, but I want to know what makes you think you're not ready just now, because you say when I get ready to.
Okay, so my rationale is I have to be closing like about 3 to 5. Yeah, I have to have at least 3 to 5 like contracts or something like that monthly in order to hire one. That's what I thought.
Affordability was your issue, huh? Okay.
What was that?
Affordability?
Well, to my understanding, that's charged by the buyer, right? Don't you guys get compensated at closing, and that's a fee that could be charged to the buyer?
Not necessarily. So here's how it works.
Okay.
There is generally a you're going to be paid a commission, right? And then you do have most brokerages have a transaction fee, right?
Yeah.
And the transaction fee is used for various administrative purposes, compliance reasons, etc. It can also be used for additional services. And so the idea is part of those additional services is what that cost covers, right? And then that cost covers that. Now I can tell you on our side, with title experts, we provide, and this is you see what we talked about, say a dedicated transaction coordinator. So through transaction experts, we provide a closing experience specialist. And we're just really finalizing the details of it. But the closing experience specialist is dedicated to it. They service your client. They service your client. So the closing experience specialist is responsible for ensuring the experience of the buyer or seller, whomever you represent, right? And so they're servicing them. And as part of their servicing, it includes all the traditional tasks of a transaction coordinator. What does that mean, Ray Cole? That means if you represent the buyer, the client, the closing experience specialist is following up with the buyer to make sure that they've gotten their wire instructions, to make sure that they made their escrow deposit, to make sure that they are prepared for the inspection, right? To make sure that once the inspection is completed, they're communicating along with you to say, hey, Kayla, is the inspection okay? Do we need to prepare an addendum? All these things are for the purpose of making sure that your client has an exceptional closing experience, right? So they're supporting, and this is something that's unique to title experts. Again, closing experience specialists. It's included in the closing. It's included as a part of our settlement. So again, if you're concerned about costs with title experts, it's included as a part of our settlement. Okay. Let's say you don't. Let's just do the math and say you don't use title experts for whatever reason. Let's just do the math on, and you guys have had this math done before, how much you make per hour, right? So let's use the hypothetical, and we say that we do the math, and you said you've got yours down to, what I need to do per year, per month, per week, even per day. So I know you know how to do this math, and estimate how long it takes you to go to close, from contract to closing, the amount of time, right? And you do your salary per hour. And let's say you do the math and we come up with, you, based on your compensation, you're going to make $95 per hour. Well, the transaction coordinator generally costs about, on the high end, $395. And they're doing at least about 20 hours of work. Let's do 20 divided by, let's divide 395 into 20. That's $20 an hour. And we said that you were making $95 an hour. What's your highest and best use? $20 per hour work or $95 per hour work? $95 per hour work. That's the biggest rationale. We look at what is your highest and best use. $20 per hour work, $95 per hour work. Can anybody else go out? When I say anybody, I'm just saying in general. Obviously, it has to be a licensed person. A non-licensed individual can follow up with your buyer to make sure that they have wire instructions, that they made their wire, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the non-licensed person can't go out and show property. They can't go out and have a listing, do a listing presentation or meeting with the prospective seller. That's delegation, and that's delegation to increase your revenue. The second thing, what I often hear is, oh, you need to learn the transaction yourself. Whoever said you were just going to walk away from the deal? You better be there, because at the end of the day, you are still ultimately responsible for that contract getting to closing. So for that reason, you are on every email, right? You are included in all the correspondence, right? So you're not just completely taking your hands off, but Kayla's in class right now, her highest and best use, and her transaction coordinator right now is following up with the title company to make sure that they got the escrow letter, right? So you can focus on those things that are your highest and best use, right? That's really what it's about. That's what that is about. And then lastly, and this is, oh my God, again, I get almost emotional every time I think about this. As a business owner, one of your most expensive line items is going to be salaries. With a transaction coordinator, they're not paid until you're paid. That is amazing. That is amazing. So even if, say, for example, you were covering the cost of your transaction coordinator, how many other places are you going where someone's going to work for you for free until you get paid? Not many. So I would be less concerned about, but when you get paid, like, that's a good thing. Like, I would want to pay someone. But up until the point that you get paid, you don't have to pay the transaction coordinator to do this work that they're already doing for you. It is a beautiful arrangement.
Okay, I got it.
That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked it. And again, I wanted you to reiterate it from your perspective, because that's always the most common questions we get. Well, I was told, I should wait until I get 5 so I can learn the process. you can learn the process with an assistant, right? They can pretty much catch you. You're in class. You can shoot them a message. Hey, can you follow up to make sure that we got the escrow letter? Versus you stopping, sending an email, making sure all the parties are on, right? Hey,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
send status update to the buyer? Make sure they know, or to the seller. Oh, the escrow letter was received. Oh, inspection was completed and they're good. You can shoot a quick text message versus you having to draft that email to your seller, right? The last thing, and God, are we there? What time is it? Oh, exactly 1 o'clock. The last thing I want to say, because again, some people think, I hear all the objections. So the last objection I want to overcome is, oh, but I don't want to, basically kind of no one can do it like me, or I want to be in communication with my clients. You are absolutely in communication with your clients, and it increases your customer service. For those of you who have used transaction coordinators, and your transaction coordinators, again, they send status updates. That adds a level of service to your business, to your offering, right? See, everyone is appreciating your question. This is a very common question. It's a very common question. Have you taken the class, Anatomy of a Transaction yet with me?
No, I haven't. Is that on your Facebook group?
It's coming up on an upcoming Tuesday. I'm glad you asked that question. It's coming up on a Tuesday. Keep an eye out. It's coming up very soon. You're going to take Anatomy of a Transaction, contract to close. You're going to learn the contract to close process, so that when you bring your TC in to do all those administrative tasks, you won't have this concern about someone having more insight and more control or more knowledge of you about your deal than you have. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So if you make sure, keep an eye out, you'll see it. Jackie Sager, everyone likes this question. I get this question all the time. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that I add these questions in that presentation. And we're going to have a discussion about that, because I get it offline all the time. And it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. So thank you
so
Kayla.
much. You're
Thank
welcome.
you,
It makes a
Kayla.
lot of sense because it alleviates us realtors and we could divert our energy to something else. So I see the value in it. Thank you. So I'll get your contact information and contact you.
Awesome. And then remember, what's my highest and best use? Highest and best use. So the last thing, and there's so many mantras, right? Guys, don't forget, when something resonates with you, write it down. So one last mantra that we get, because I'm part of a coaching program for attorneys, and one of the mantras that they always say is you need to delegate a task to the most competent, least compensated person, right? Not most competent, least compensated. Not to say, and that's not to say to try and pay someone the least, but who can get this done and it doesn't cost $95 an hour? That's what it's saying. Who can do this? Who's competent? Most competent, least compensated. Most competent, least compensated. Who in this office is most competent, least compensated? Because it's going to cost me more if I give it to Judy. Yeah, Judy can do it, but Judy costs $95 an hour, and Susie can do it, and Susie costs $20 an hour. Let's give it to Susie and let Judy do what Judy needs, the $95 an hour activity. All right, guys, you guys do the $95 an hour activity and let the other people do their activity. All right. Everyone has value. And trust me, last thing, I see Liz on here marketing her behind off. They are going to appreciate you allowing them to do what they do. Right? They're not offended about you saying send an escrow letter, because that's what they want to do. They are TCs. They enjoy being TCs, and that's what they want to do. Right? All right. So we went like 4 minutes over. Help a colleague. If you found value in these conversations, if you find value, bring a colleague, invite them to join us each Thursday. Now, you guys know next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we will not have a huddle, but happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you guys the following week. All right. Don't forget to go into the community. We
Thank you, will do.
you
Take
gonna be
care.
where? Where you gonna be, Stephanie? Oh, don't play. No. Yeah, well, I will be too. She said we'll be home though.
Yeah, we're gonna be home. We're gonna be home.
Yeah, you muted yourself. This
Oh,
girl.
I said we are going to be home. We are going to be well fed, ready to receive the word. I'm gonna receive that word that you got for me on a good stomach, because I'm gonna be stealing food by 12 o'clock. The food not gonna be ready until 4, but
You're
we're
so
gonna be
funny.
ready. I'm here. If you want to do a
You're
class, I'm
welcome,
here.
Tarika. Bye, Jessica. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a pop-up. We'll do a pop-up.
I'm ready to do a pop-up with the turkey, the grill, the everything that we're gonna have in the Haitian house. I'm ready for you, baby. I'm ready, and I'm glad to you doing this all the time and you consistent. I learned so much with you, Echo. Thank you
I
so
know, I love
much.
you. You are definitely a oh my God, y'all see this out here? Can y'all see, or is it a glare? For
It's
those
a
of you that
glare.
okay, well now you got to see this before we close out, because this is what I'm look at this. Now it is serious.
Wow.
Y'all see that?
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
No,
What is
oh my
this?
gosh, I hope you're staying inside.
See, it wasn't bad
Record
earlier when we got started, right?
that.
Look at that.
Wow.
This
That's a
is the
lot.
equivalent. This is the equivalent of our hurricanes in Florida.
Looks like a blizzard.
Yeah.
What is that snow?
Yeah, girl. I'm in Michigan for
Oh, I ain't never seen snow except on the movies.
well, it
I
is
only see
like,
snow on the movies like Home Alone 3. I'm from Miami. I only see rain.
can you see it? Do you see it, Stephanie?
Wow. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
I never seen real snow like that before,
Y'all see the
except the movies.
y'all see
Wow.
the parking garage and the rooftops?
Wow.
Ricola, are you Haitian?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I know Haitians.
No, I
Sac
just
passe.
call her
I'm born and raised in
because I'm
Miami though, so sac
Haitian.
passe.
Okay.
Sac passe, maboule. All right, guys. So yeah.
Naboule.
This is where I am until Monday. So y'all go be great. Go be
Thank you.
go market. And I will see you guys at the closing table.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Thanks again for the question, Kayla.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.